Yes, I am a MAGA supporter, a Make America Great Again supporter. Yes, I tend to agree with that messaging.
Help me understand it. All right, so I do have, I mean, this is rage baity, and I do have very strong opinions, but my biggest, itch that I need to scratch when I come on and have these conversations is I genuinely would like to understand your perspective. Thanks, Putin Annie.
Yeah, well, let me walk you through it. So Trump was elected the first time and the second time for much the same reason, which was mass migration. So the basically in all Western nations, mass migration
Well,
has been.
okay,
Hang
I,
on. Let
I
me.
don't mean to interrupt
No,
you. I don't mean to interrupt
but you're
you, but
going to anyway.
I
Okay,
am
go
because
ahead.
I can do that. It's my life. I get to
I
do that
know
because
you
I
can.
just want to make sure that I'm steering the conversation
Hmm.
to like something productive. That's not just us talking at each other because like that is a perspective that you have about like what created
How do you
MAGA
know what my
or,
perspective
or,
is? You won't
or
even let me say what it is.
well, because what you're explaining to me is a common perspective that I've heard. It's
How do
not
you
the
know
only
I
one.
wasn't able to explain it?
Can I finish?
I mean, sure. I'm just saying, like, you haven't even let me give you the perspective yet. So why would you
Well,
try to refute it?
I'm interested in what your opinion is. And if your opinion is I don't like immigrants being in this country, I would like for you to say that. I don't need for you to give me a a history lesson or like school like I don't need that. I'm looking for your internal perspective
Mhm.
on
Yeah. So
what's going on inside
I'm
of
trying to
you
give it
as an
to you.
experience
Yeah.
and I get it. I'm trying to keep it focused though so that it's not a monologued history lesson
Well,
that I've heard a million
it's not going to be
times.
monologued. I can explain the whole position in 40 seconds. Okay? So the whole position is like this. All western nations, mass migration is vastly unpopular. The reason for this is because of assimilation. They're not bringing in a low enough amount that we can actually assimilate and integrate. Instead, they bring in whole percentages of nations, 1 2% a year in many cases. That's why people move towards the America First moniker. That's why, including myself.
Okay, I hear you. So can you help me understand how the concept of white supremacy and like patriarchy and misogyny play a role in why that seems to be such a dominant issue?
Because
Because I can
yeah, because feminism has caused huge issues in family dynamics, and because of
for whom?
that, well,
For whom?
for the idea of a nuclear family, feminism has.
For men?
No, for women
Abusive
too.
men?
Nope, it's hurt women too, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think patriarchy hurts women and hurts men.
No, feminism, I
Um,
think, has hurt women and hurt men more than anything else.
based on what? Like,
Well,
what are you basing that
let's take a
opinion
look
on?
first at the birth rate in the United States under replacement rate. Do you know why, like, what the main cause and reason is for why the birth rate is so low?
Because women don't want to have children with
Nope.
men who use them and treat them like crap.
This is a very common trope, but that's not it. It's actually really a
Oh,
simple
are you a
answer.
woman? Are you a woman?
Well, why do I need to be a woman to know what the reasoning is?
Well, I'm just curious how you feel like you are the authority on the American woman's like perspective as a mother
Because we have the
and someone that's been
data, because
married.
I can give you the
I
data to
feel like
support it.
it might be an opportunity for you to maybe sit down and open your ears from somebody that actually is a woman living in America.
Well, I'm a
But
husband
it's
and a
interesting that
father,
you
so I have
feel
no say on this.
you feel the need to dominate that. But that I mean, I think it gives me a very clear idea of your psychological profile.
You can't
Truly.
psychoanalyze a person in 10 seconds. I haven't even gotten
Yeah,
out
I
what
can.
my reasoning is. So
I can actually.
what
I'm
happens
pretty
in
good at it.
industrial nations is
Shocking.
women tend to use the younger, more fertile years for higher education. That's what happens. And so basically, by the time they have their career established and this type of thing, they have children later in life. That's why the average age of childbirth is between 28 to 30, and it's increasing. And now it used to be the opposite. They used to have children much younger. And that's why we didn't have a birth rate crisis. Industrialization causes this in most Western nations. Now, the
Correct.
reason, yeah,
When women are allowed to engage in the education process and then become more educated and valued in society and more protected, women will delay child rearing, especially because when women become mothers, they often become much more dependent, right? It is not necessarily a good thing for women to be having children at a very young age.
Well, what do
Because
you
they
mean very
are
young? 22, 23 is not
I
very
think
young.
I think it allows for men who, because women are the gatekeepers, right, of our lineage. Women decide
I actually
whose
agree with that.
genes get to pass. Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So if women are being more selective and they're more educated, they are not making their choices out of oppression and desperation.
But they're actually not being more
which-
selective. They're being
wait,
less
hold
selective.
on. Can you let me talk?
Do you ever
I mean,
not talk?
you're just proving my point over and over again. I mean, this is just a common
You're very
female
aggressive,
experience.
even though we're having a very normal conversation.
For a woman, I'm sure. I know it's hard to deal with an intelligent, confident woman that's not going to let
If you mute, you
walk
lose,
over
by the
me.
way.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want,
You lose, by the way.
oh, okay. Well, if you want to be a misogynistic, you can get the fuck off my live.
Who was misogynistic?
So what I was gonna say is, men would like women to be uneducated and have to be forced in proximity to men by limiting their rights, like rights to vote, rights to their own bank account, money, etc. Because then men who wouldn't have the opportunity to procreate in any normal society, because an educated, clear-minded woman would pass up the predatory and undeserving males, right? That's how things should go. Women shouldn't be desperate and in need of men, so that they're forced into situations where they have to do. That's hijacking the species. You're hijacking the evolutionary process. But that's what men have been doing. When women are educated and have the right to choose and are making their choices out of what's a man's character, how does he treat other people, etc., 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 that's going to benefit the right men. The men are rewarded for the ones that treat women with respect, that know the value of a woman, don't talk over her, don't condescend to her, do not want to dominate and oppress women, but instead want to keep in check the predatory males that are seeking to harm women and children. Because women and children
are such cope machine. Yes, women and children.
Children should go first. Like, women and children into.
I can't wait to hear it.
Because women and children make the society. They're disposable. So I'm sorry to say it. I'm not saying they're not important. Okay. But this is the reality that men are grappling with and having a goddamn existential breakdown in society about. They're throwing a goddamn tantrum because they're losing control over their thumb over women. Because they're jealous. They can't create life. And they can't abuse women anymore because we're waking the up and we're coming for you. You're lucky we don't want revenge because we're better than you. We're not going to do the harm that you've done to us. We just want to be a healthy society because you fucked it up. You goddamn fucked it up. Look at the president. Reflection. That's a complete reflection of the state of our society, culture, and you want to be like.
I have this effect where I can make women lose their fucking minds with 3 sentences. 3 sentences.
Women, you will rather blow up the world than hold yourself accountable? All due respect, shut the up.
She's mad as she's mad as
God. Oh, I'm mad. And that's so funny. Men are so afraid of a woman who knows what the she's talking about and won't back down to his gaslighting. It's stupid. You think that men, your opinion means nothing. I've been hard pressed to meet a woman that actually has not been assaulted. So, like, I mean, the fact that the false allegations don't even compare to the allegations that never even get made.
I understand. So now we're going to go off the analytics.
It's uncomparable. And if you are naive to the fact that you're a man, right? So you've been around men your whole life, I'm assuming. And so I'm assuming you look, I don't know who you're trying to fool about, like, you know the nature of what men talk about with other men, how they discuss women. This is not far-fetched, right? This is a statement from a victim. I mean, I don't care. You can
I don't know about you, but I've never been around a bunch of men when they're talking about essaying women. I've never actually been around that ever. Ever.
You know, has, I don't know how many accusations. I don't know if someone in the comments can say it is absolutely
About 26, dear. Yeah. The problem with it, you have people like E. Jean Carroll that make these claims, and it was a very, very chewed up case where she had more holes than Swiss cheese, dear.
I want to ask you how, if you were assaulted,
Yes.
okay, how would you prove that to somebody?
By going to get a kit done at the hospital.
So
that's the best evidence. I mean, you can't. It's unrefutable.
I can't even recall what her case. I can't even recall if she went and did that or not.
She didn't.
No,
I know she had enough. She had enough for him to be found civilly liable. So there had to be some kind of
but
evidence.
civilly and
that
criminal are two different things.
Right, because being able to prove a criminal case in court requires a different level of standard beyond, you know, he said, she said, and evidence that can be disputed through lawyers, etc. So you don't believe her, is what you're saying?
No, I don't.
You
because
don't believe that woman who is complete reputation, integrity, all that guy.
She's a fucking nutcase. I've listened to her talk. She's a fucking nutcase.
People this powerful. Do you have any idea what that's like?
Yeah, I do. That she did it for money. I'm sorry. I'll show you, and I'll show you proof.
You really think that this is worth any bit of money?
Well, I don't know about this one. We're talking about E. Jean Carroll. Let's stay on point here. E. Jean Carroll's case was a farce, 100% verifiable.
Who are you?
Because she said it happened in 1990.
How do you know?
Because hang on, as it happened into a prominent Tiffany store with verifiable guards and cameras in a very busy time, supposedly, where she didn't know the date, time, or year, supposedly. And both, they had their heights of their career. But yet this happened. She comes out with it 20 plus years later.
So why?
And then she sues the CBS. She's doing the same thing to the CBS CEO. And then the dress that she brings in was 5 years after the alleged. She hires the same makeup crew and says it was there to make me look effable in court.
I wonder why she didn't come forward.
I'm sorry. I don't accept that because Roe v. versus Wade, the Duke boys.
Because she's lying.
These are national headline cases where men were lied about raping women.
Cognitive dissonance. It's wonderful that you have such confidence in men that they don't do that to women.
No. I just need evidence, Rocky.
And especially Trump.
Okay.
You don't need evidence because it's right in front of you. You don't.
Honey, I was lied on. I was lied on about at work, and it was found out that person lied. So I'm sorry if I'm a little impartial to say it needs evidence.
It comes out.
Yeah, it does come out. All the evidence does come out, but in her case, it was a farce. Now this one, I'd have to do.
Shut the fuck up. Don't call victims liars. Don't come on here and discredit a woman who had the courage to come forward after 20 years when it would do nothing but bring her pain and heartache and death threats. You're obviously biased and you have an agenda because you want to protect men. That sounds like you have, there's something within you you're aligning with there that you're protecting, and it's very obvious. But like, wow.
She's just trying to understand, guys.
I'm sorry. Did you have the balls to come on here? Or would you be this brave enough to do this? No, you wouldn't. No. Hi, Max.
So I think there's actually a problem with what you have on the screen. This is a complaint, not a guilty verdict. So this actually doesn't prove anything.
Why not? Why doesn't this prove anything? This is a victim's sworn testimony of what happened.
Let's go, Max.
Show guilt. It doesn't show a case where there's been objective wrongdoing. It's not good. If that's the standard, it's not good enough for me.
Well, duh, Max, because nothing would be good enough for any of you people that want to support this behavior. Duh, right? You could be shown people being found civilly liable. You don't believe it. Toss it out. Doesn't matter. And the point is, as a woman, and knowing what how hard that is to prove, it is embarrassing. It is humiliating. It is intended to be humiliating. That's the whole point of AA, is to dominate, control, and humiliate. And the whole process of having to walk through it and having people doubt you and having people like yourself to be like, that doesn't prove anything. Just because you don't want it to have happened.
These people are fucking crazy. They're actually crazy.
To where your world dictates reality. It does not. You are not you are not God. I know the narcissism can be really compelling to make you deluded to feel like, because I think this way, that means it's true. No,
I'm a narcissist for not believing this?
It's narcissistic.
This complaint, it's a claim.
It's narcissism for you to assert your perspective as being the dominant and only correct perspective.
Got it. The worldview that wants evidence.
I'm going to value what this person has to say.
Hold on. Okay, well, if it's the case that this is the most egregious crime that you could commit, shouldn't you demand really good evidence for these types of claims in order to believe such a thing? And there hasn't been. This is just a complaint. There's no guilty verdict here. And you haven't shown any actual evidence.
I'm curious, Max. What do you get out of defending?
Oh, wow. Here we go. Can you answer the argument? Can you answer what I just said, please?
I don't know that there was an answer to that, Max, because I just got through explaining that sexual is about humiliation, power, and control.
I agree. And because it's so terrible.
Okay, hold on. To the extent of evidence that you are trying to define, other than the fact that women,
because it's so terrible, because it's so terrible, the threshold of evidence it should be quite strong. It should be pretty damning in order to make such a claim that somebody did something like that. And you just saying that this is just a complaint, it's a claim, it's an assertion. This isn't evidence. I would like concrete proof evidence.
Right? You're a smart guy. You seem put together, smart, intelligent, maybe well-educated based on what you're presenting here. Can you tell me what someone's motivation, what would be the ROI on this?
Fame.
Fame. Oh, fame.
Lots
Can
of money.
You help me break down the psychological impact of that? What kind of fame this would bring somebody? And
going on talk shows like hold on.
Let me finish my goddamn question, Max. I mean, I know you don't respect obviously what I'm having to say, and you're being very rude.
He's not being rude at all. Psycho.
Can you give me the exchange, the psychological cost to this kind of a fame? What do you think that does to a person's friends, family, psychological safety, physical safety, the legal fees,
Max is going to be president one day, and I'm here for it.
I mean, I'm giving you the answer. I think it's far more logical to believe that a man just did this.
Well, here's the thing.
Especially there's 26 more accusations, and that's just accusations of people that were brave enough to come forward. You have no argument. You are just being contrarian. You're just are you?
Can I respond, please?
Being a contrarian to this because
because I think it's not ridiculous at all for such false claims to be made against the most famous person in America. She won over $83 million as of January, I think last year, I believe. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and I think that that's a really, really good incentive for people to lie. Don't you think? Do you think that people would lie for $83 million? Do you think they would do that?
Yes. I think Trump.
Oh, you're going to obfuscate. Okay.
Yes, Max.
Max, I don't know how to explain to you basic human decency.
You got wrecked.
Like experience. I don't know how to explain to you the female experience.
I think it's the decent thing to do to demand good evidence.
And this isn't good evidence?
No, that's a claim. That's not a guilty verdict.
Okay. Well, I'm not talking about in a court of law, legal jargon. I'm talking about as a human being in good faith having a conversation about this is a reasonable claim that
not evidence. You see, you keep saying claim. A claim is not evidence.
Shut the f up. Oh my God. Yeah, we know.
I'm sending you a sweatshirt, Max. You getting a Crucible hoodie, Max?
You're a misogynist. We know. Good.
Uncle
Carry
Crucible
on.
wants you.
Good luck
Max.
with that.
We want you, Max.
I don't answer questions. What? If you present like photographs, for instance, I mean, just photograph beyond photograph of photographic evidence, emails, firsthand testimony, self-confessions, even in interviews. That's not hard evidence. And then when you just go to, you know what, that evidence, how about just believe the victims? How about if we just believe the women? We wouldn't even need the Epstein files to be released if we just believe women. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks for letting me up. Yeah, thanks for letting me up. I appreciate it.
They're like, debate Rachel. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Well, I heard the other interaction you had with Max, I think his name was, where you guys were talking about the allegations and he was asking for evidence and you were talking about what's behind you there. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my personal experience. So something that happened to me about 22 years ago. I was living in California at the time, and I happened to meet Kamala Harris at a private event, and she touched me in an unwanted place and SA'd me. And I just would like to come forward and tell my story, and I'm hoping that you'll believe me.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry that happened. I mean, if that's what you're saying happened, I have no reason to think otherwise.
So if I were to file a lawsuit detailing this and, explaining it and saying that, I had friends who I told this to at the time, even though it was 22 years ago, you think that should prevent her from running for public office or being elected president just because I make these allegations and I have good descriptions and people who, corroborate my story? Or do you think I would need a higher bar of evidence to do something like that to a public official or to anyone?
So, Rachel, I guess I can tell that you're using this as a example. This is not something that genuinely happened to you, right?
Yeah, I want you to think through what it is that you're actually asking for here when you say we should just believe women and that should be enough.
If there's a pervasive pattern, like this isn't just something that you take, this one thing, like the very detailed account that I had behind me, okay? If it was one instance where, there could have been a lot,
Let me see your smug face. Let me see your smug face.
I think what I'm talking about is a pervasive pattern over the course of time where you've got obscene amount of evidence and firsthand testimony, secondhand testimony, self-incriminating confessions even, that it's concerning to me that that's where you want to waste your energy, is to misunderstand me.
I don't think I'm misunderstanding you. I mean, tell me where I'm misunderstanding you. Because, I mean, would it be fair for somebody to destroy your life and take your life apart based on
pattern of behavior?
Well, yeah, but to even assert that there's an established pattern of behavior, you would have to prove that these things are true, not just that multiple women have made allegations, because you would be hard pressed to ever find a powerful man with a lot of money who doesn't have multiple allegations from people who may or may not be mentally unhinged, may or may not be looking for money, trying to extort the guy. This is a pervasive pattern. Actually, if you want to talk about patterns, the pattern of women going after men with power and money and making these types of false allegations is a very well established pattern.
Is it a pattern that women? Well,
yes, but is it also an established pattern that 24% of human traffickers are women? Is it also an established pattern that 68% of people who have children are women?
What? 68%? Where are you getting that fact? Because that is blatantly a lie.
So I'm looking at the national. It's not. I can show you right here.
68% of people that have children are female.
Yes, I'm looking at the. Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Fact check that.
Sure.
I don't want to boot up my computer, but that is absolute misinformation.
No, it's not. I can.
No, that's misinformation. That is misinformation, and I'm not going to get booted off my TikTok for that. So that is false. That is not correct. I don't know where you're getting that, but no. I kick, I lose. I don't care. I don't want somebody saying lies and getting me kicked off of this live. You cannot just make up. That's not true. I work with traumatized children. I work with children who are severely emotionally disturbed and have experienced those things. And I know the statistics, and that's not correct.
Yes, it is correct. In fact, feminists concede that
I need a moment.
Feminists concede that this is correct. They just say it's because we primarily have custody of the children. That's why they actually concede this point, just so you know.